I am a turned on preacher now. As I was saying, it is recorded in Matthew and in Luke. Um, and we might wonder why this was first, and why would he say, unto you is given to know the mysteries, but unto them it is not. We're going to try and answer those questions this evening. I shan't be long. I'm never long, but I'm going to be maybe even, well, let's see. In Mark chapter 4, beginning in verse 1, he began again to teach by the seaside, and there was gathered unto him a great multitude, so that he entered into the ship and sat in the sea, and the whole multitude was by the sea on the land. And he taught them many things by parables. And he said unto them in his doctrine, Hearken, behold, there went out a sower to sow. And it came to pass as he sowed, some fell by the wayside, and the fowl of the air came and devoured it up. And some fell on stony places where it had not much earth, and immediately it sprang up, because it had no depth of earth. But when the sun was up, it was scorched, and because it had no root, it withered away. Some fell among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked it, and yielded no fruit. Other fell on good ground, and did yield fruit that sprang up and increased, and brought forth some 30, and some 60, and some 100. And he said unto them, He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. And when he was alone, they that were about him with the 12 asked of him the parable. And he said unto them, Unto you it is given to know the mystery of the kingdom of God, but unto them that are without, all these things are done in parables, that seeing they may see and not perceive, and hearing they may hear and not understand, lest at any time they should be converted, and their sins should be forgiven them. And he said unto them, Know ye not this parable? And how then will you know all parables? The sower soweth the word, and these are they by the wayside, where the word is sown. But when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately, and taketh away the word that was sown in their hearts. And these are they likewise which are sown on stony ground, who, when they have heard the word, immediately receive it with gladness, and have no root in themselves, and so endure but for a time. After, when affliction or persecution ariseth for the word's sake, immediately they are offended. And these are they which are sown among thorns, such as hear the word, and the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lust of other things enter in, choke the word, and it become unfruitful. And these are they which are sown on good ground, such as hear the word, receive it, and bring forth fruit, some 30-fold, some 60, and some 100. Now, the chapter begins with Jesus finding a boat. He began to teach by the seaside, and there was gathered unto him a crowd, a multitude. And in order that he might be heard, he needed to put some space between himself and the people. And so he asked for a ship. And he set out into the waters a ways, and the people are on the land. There may be something to the fact that he was on the water, because sound carries better on the water. I have been out with a friend. I and my wife in a boat, and he and his wife in another boat, and he could be plumb across the lake, And I could hear what he was saying, and he could hear what I was saying, because the water just, it carries sound well. Whether that's the cause or not, we don't know, because you have to have some space. I'm sitting up here talking to you tonight. If I was down there in the middle and y'all were all bunched around me, half of you wouldn't hear me. He just had to put some space between himself and the people. So it says he began to teach them in parables, and a parable being an earthly example used to teach a heavenly or spiritual truth. Here's the parable of the sower. Behold, there went out a sower to sow. In verse 14, he tells us plainly the seed that was sown is the word. Who then would be the sowers? Well, saved people. More specifically, in this time period, it would be church people, because the commission is given to the church. There are saved people outside the church, but there ought not be. If a person is truly saved, the place he belongs is in a New Testament church. But at any rate, here we'll just simply say saved people, and we'll acknowledge that it is saved people that go about sowing or sharing the word. Mark chapter 16 and verse 15, he said unto them, Go ye into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. That's Mark's rendition of the Great Commission, as we normally quote from Matthew, because it is a more extended version. This in itself should tell us something about why he said, Unto you is given to know the mystery of the kingdom of God, but unto them which are without, all these things are done in parables, that seeing they may see and not perceive, and hearing they may hear and not understand, lest at any time they should be converted and their sins should be forgiven them. Now, I really don't know how to present this other than the way I'm presenting it right now, and I want to say this. When we read this, it sounds as though he don't want people saved, but that's not what he's saying. What he's saying is they don't understand because they don't know me. They don't see with their eyes because they don't know me. They don't hear with their ears because they don't know me. He's not saying that there are people cut off. He's simply saying they don't understand because they don't know me. And as we look at this, he says, Unto you is given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of God, but unto them that are without, all these things are done in parables, that seeing they may see and not perceive, and hearing they may hear and not understand, lest at any time they should be converted and their sins should be forgiven them. He's not saying that he doesn't want them saved. What he's saying is they're not going to be converted. They're not going to hear. They're not, He's saying they're not going to see, they're not going to understand, they're not going to hear. And then he comes back and he tells us of the seed that is sown. Actually, this is repeated 3 times in the New Testament, and in each occasion it is connected to this one parable. Matthew chapter 13, verse 11, he answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom, but to them it is not given. In Luke, it says, and he said unto you is given unto know the mysteries of the kingdom of God, but to others in parables, that seeing they might not see, and hearing they might not understand. this parable is to saved people. It is telling us how the word will be received. You know, we used to go out knocking on doors here, and we have at one time or another knocked on every door in this subdivision, either behind us or in front of us. Well, in front of us or behind us, depending on which way you're looking. It's in front of you and behind you. It's in front of me and behind me. And how many do we have from this subdivision? 0. Kind of discouraging. And that's what Jesus is trying to teach us in this parable, is there are only going to be a few who will hear what we have to say. Don't be discouraged. Keep on keeping on. Continue preaching and teaching the word. If they will hear, that's wonderful. If they won't, that's understandable. That's human nature. There's only going to be a few who will hear us. In Matthew's account of this, he went on further to explain this, and he says, in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which saith, by hearing you shall hear and shall not understand, and seeing you shall see and shall not perceive. For this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. Now, Matthew points it out to us much more clearly. It is not the Lord who does not want them to hear. It is they themselves who do not want to hear. And so he tells us, keep sowing. Keep sowing. If we had the energy, it wouldn't hurt us to hit this whole subdivision front and back all over again, because I know there's new people there. It says in verse 4, it came to pass as he sowed, some fell by the wayside, and the fowl of the air came and devoured it up. In verse 15, he tells us the meaning of this. In verse 15, he says, and these are they by the wayside where the word is sown. But when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately and taketh away the word that was sown in their hearts. As you are speaking, when you're witnessing to someone, as you are speaking, Satan is looking for a way in. Satan is looking for a way to nullify what you have just said. I'll give you a perfect example. It doesn't have to be